everyone! Maria and her Blue Dream would like to invite you for a 3-day trip full of different ferry routes which will bring us to Vancouver Island and Sunshine Coast. My Blue Dream is a reliable Honda CBR 650F and Maria is a rider with 4 years of experience. My initial trip was to take a 7:30 ferry from Horseshoe Bay. Unfortunately, I was only 1 minute late and they didn't let me in. The next ferry was in 2 hours and it won't work for me as I had to take 2 more ferries that day, which would bring me to Courtney on Vancouver Island. I grabbed a coffee in Horseshoe Bay, sat by the sea, and came up with a better plan. There is always a better plan. My updated route was to take 11 a.m. ferry from Tsawwassen to Victoria. I had plenty of time to finish my coffee and enjoy the morning quietness. I really enjoyed the road to the ferry as I got closer. It is surrounded by the ocean on both sides and you feel the fresh breeze, seaweed sand and gusty wind. Was so happy that I was on time that time. The ferry tickets were around $40 to $50 each way, depends on the ferry. The biggest advantage to travel by ferry on a motorcycle is that you can show up 10 minutes before the sailing time and you are guaranteed to get on the ferry, even if it is full. Also, you are always first in line on and off the ferry. Love it so much. My trip was during COVID-19 outbreak, so the ferries and the roads were empty most of the time, which I enjoyed a lot. The whole world was just for me. The trip by the ferry adds the whole new experience. I really love to sit on a sun deck and enjoy the view of passing by islands, to feel the warm sun on my face, the fresh wind in my hair, and to stare in the blue sky with its funny shaped clouds. After 1 hour and a half, I was at Tsawwassen Bay on Vancouver Island, and in 30 minutes I was visiting my friend in Victoria. I love this city so much. It reminds me of a small European city with its cozy streets, lovely restaurants, picturesque marina, and magnificent architecture. I didn't spend a lot of time there as I had reservation at Port McNeil, which is 460 kilometers away. It was 3 p.m. when I left Victoria, so I planned to ride without any stops except for the gas. The road from Victoria to Campbell River is very wide and most of the time straight. Not my favorite type of riding, but you definitely can ride much faster, which I appreciated a lot as the time was moving towards the evening. But after Campbell River, the road became narrow and winding with amazing turns and tall trees along its way. The most magical moment was during the sunset, when the sky changed its colors to fairy pink. I was riding for hours by myself on the road. No cars, no people. I turned into the narrow and curvy road surrounded by huge fir trees, turning the sky into the stripe of a pink forest path. At that moment, I saw a bald eagle and he dove down towards me. I thought he took me for a bald eagle as well, as my helmet is white. He almost hit me with his wings when he suddenly changed his direction and cruised for a while in front of me. The eagle was so close that I felt I can touch him. He disappeared as fast as he showed up, but he gifted me a feather. Next day was an Orthodox Easter, so I had some eggs for breakfast and expected to meet a rabbit along my trip. I put my gear on and was ready to explore the island. In 30 minutes I came to Port Hardy, which is located on the northernmost tip of Vancouver Island and a paradise for kayaking, caving, world-class scuba diving, nature viewing, surfing, fishing and camping. The town is really small, with around 4,000 people. Also, from here you can take a ferry to Prince Rupert. though the morning was grey and foggy, but I still enjoyed its beauty and quietness. My next stop was in a tiny but picturesque village, Port Alice, with only 600 people. I really enjoyed a 40-minute ride from highway to Port Alice, as the road was full of different turns and scenic views. I also met a black bear who was trying to cross the road. Place was empty due to COVID-19, but I could feel its welcoming spirit. Port Alice is famous for its natural environment, saltwater fishing, the largest in Canada cenote, Devil's Bath, and number of hiking destinations in the area. On my way to Campbell River, I couldn't stop and check out the smallest community on Vancouver Island, of about 20 inhabitants. It is a former fishing and cannery village that has become a launch point for ecotourism. People come here from all over the world to enjoy whale watching, fishing, kayaking, and boating. The colorful houses looks like crabs with its long legs dipping in the water. Telegraph Cove is one of the last boardwalk settlements left on Vancouver Island. It was such a great experience to walk on those wobbly bridges, trying to keep my balance. I was gifted a couple hours to spend there by myself, which was a very spiritual experience. I could hear the creak of the wood, and it felt like those houses constantly communicating with each other. This place is so magical that even bald eagles made it their home for nestling. I definitely want to come back. The plans for tonight was to stay at Cambell River, so I found a very cozy Airbnb and I had to ride for 2 more hours. The weather was amazing and the road was empty, and actually that was the most favorite part of the highway because it was narrow with lots of turns and beautiful views. The weather on the island is truly unpredictable, and after the whole day of sunshine, I suddenly caught a rain. But it was very pleasant, like a refreshing shower. After 30 minutes, when I left the rainy cloud behind, I made a quick stop to wipe my motorcycle, to have some snack. Luckily, I still had some twigs in my pocket. And to do a roadside dance so I can keep my focus on the road while I'm driving. Before entering Campbell River, I planned to stop at the Elk Waterfalls and check them out. But unfortunately they were closed as of COVID-19, so I went straight ahead to the cozy place that I rented for that night.